guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So recently I've been getting into looking at graduate schools because I will be going to graduate school and I will be applying next fall, so I really need to start looking like right now. Going through this whole process of looking at colleges and stuff really made me kind of remember back in high school when I was looking at colleges to come to for my undergrad. So in today's video, I want to go through some tips and some things that you should be thinking about as you think about what kind of college you want to choose. So today I want to go through some tips and some things that you should think about before you choose your college. Because choosing where you're going to be for the next 4+ years of your life is quite a big decision to make. And there's a lot of factors to take into account, so let's go ahead and get started. Number one, I think one of the most important things that you have to look at for your school is the program. What are you interested in? What do you think your major might be? What kind of program are you looking for? You want to make sure that your school is going to help you excel academically based on the program they have for you, whether it be resources they have, some research opportunities they've got for you, different professors, things like that. One of the main reasons I ended up choosing the college that I'm at right now is because it was a very research-based college, and I knew that I wanted that because I want to go into research and I wanted those kinds of opportunities available to me. Also, I am a psychology major, so I made sure that I looked into the psychology department, looked at professors, made sure that it was really welcoming and somewhere where I knew I would want to be. So maybe if you want to do pre-med, you want to go somewhere where maybe there's a medical school, or maybe if you are doing business or something, you want to go to somewhere that has a really strong business school. Basically, just make sure that you look at the program first, because if you want to go into something that that school does not offer, or maybe they do, but that school just doesn't put many of their resources towards that program or whatever because they're more oriented towards other things, then make sure that you get somewhere that fits your interests. I think the next thing that's really important to look at when looking at colleges is the cost. College is very expensive and you need to make sure that you're going somewhere that's within your budget or your parents' budget or whomever. And I know that the price tag can often look very daunting, but make sure that you apply for scholarships because tons of colleges offer a ton of scholarships for a lot of people. So make sure that you look into that and apply to everything that you can so that the cost becomes a little bit more manageable. Next thing you should pay attention to is the size of the college or university. Do you want to go to a small school? Do you want to go to a big school? I personally applied to both. CSU is a very big school and I was a little bit afraid of that at first, but I also applied to a small liberal arts school. But I ended up wanting to go to a big school and I'm glad that I did because I love all of the people and all of the resources that they have here for me. That's definitely not everyone's thing, so make sure that you look at how big the school is, and that might factor into your decision a little bit. I know that smaller schools will have smaller class sizes, and that may totally be your thing. I personally don't mind the big classes that much, and it kind of depends on your major as well, so just kind of really weigh those pros and cons. Next, it's very important to look into location. You're going to be living here for a long time, so make sure that it's somewhere that you like. And this kind of ties into the size thing too. Do you want to be in a small town at a community college, or do you want to be in a big city at a huge university? Also think about how far it is from home. Are you within driving distance? Are you in the same town? Are you way across the country or even international? I personally only applied to colleges that were in the surrounding states of my home state. I just don't think I was quite ready to fly somewhere to go to college. I also just kind of like where I grew up, so I knew that I wanted to be somewhat close to home, but also not too close, not too far, all of that. So I really like my distance. I'm within a day's drive, about 8 hours or so. And that's perfect for me, but it may be a completely different story for you, so just be sure to think about that. And also think about the town or city that you're going to. Is it a nice place where you want to live? As I'm looking at graduate schools right now, a lot of them are honestly in places that I don't think I would choose to live, so I kind of have to think about that. But I've also heard people say that in graduate school you're too busy that it doesn't matter where you live anyway because you'll never go outside. I really love the city where I currently am, and I couldn't see myself anywhere else right now. Just make sure it's somewhere that you are prepared to move to, even if it's just for a few years. And kind of going along with this, I think it's really important to go see and tour the campus where you are thinking of going. Oftentimes you get on campus and maybe you go see the buildings and you just look at them and you don't like them very much, or you just don't like the overall vibe you're getting, I don't know. And other times you'll go to campus and you'll be like, wow, this is amazing, I love it, I love the people here, everyone's so nice, and you can totally picture yourself there. but it's hard to really get that impression unless you go see the campus. So I really recommend that you guys narrow down your choices a little bit of where you think you may want to be going, and then try to spend a spring break or a week during the summer or something like that going and touring those colleges. Another thing that might be important to look at is things like acceptance rate, graduation rate, how hard is it to get in, and what do people do after they leave. This may factor into your decision because say they have a really low graduation rate or something, you're like, do a lot of people go there and decide that they don't like it and they leave, or I don't know. But that can be something that can factor into your decision when you have a whole list of colleges and you're trying to narrow it down. And the last thing that I think is important to look at when you're trying to decide a college to go to is to look at its clubs and sports and things like that. I'm sure all of you have some kind of interest or hobby, and I'm sure you might be interested in looking at if your potential college might have a club for that, or maybe you could even start one. Or maybe you're really into sports and school spirit, maybe you want to join the football team or something like that, so look into what they have to offer for that. Maybe you want to go to a school that has a lot of school spirit in a big on-campus stadium, CSU, or maybe you don't. Maybe that's not your thing, and maybe you want to go somewhere that just focuses on classes and like maybe doesn't have that much school spirit because maybe that's not your thing. So with all of these things I've just said, I would recommend putting them into a spreadsheet so that it's easy for you to see all of the pros and cons of the colleges you're thinking about. I've currently done that with the graduate schools I'm looking at. I have a spreadsheet in Excel and I just have the college name, its location, the requirements to get in, and all of that across so that I can kind of just fill it in and see what starts to align well with me. And I know it's also very daunting when you start to look at colleges. You're like, where do I even start? So this can give you a place to start. Think about what kind of program you want to go into. Think about what size you want, how far away from home. All of these things are really going to help you narrow down your choices. And also, college isn't for everyone. So if you're trying to just weigh that too, you can kind of do the same sort of thing. Just do a pros and cons list and figure out what would be best for you. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys want me to do a similar video, maybe on tips for applying to college or tips on choosing a major or something like that, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and good luck in your college search if that's what you're doing. Subscribe if you want to stick around, and I will see you next time. Bye!